Hi Ruby, thank you for joining. Shout out to Ruby. Shout out to Zanya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Or Zanaya? Zanaya. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Leave your excuse me, leave your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Luna Mia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Thank you. I'm glad I pronounced it correctly. Thank you, Ruby. Shout out to Grenadine. Sorry if I mispronounce it. Shout out to Nico. Shout out to Melody. And shout out to Khaleesi. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Khaleesi. Shout out to Jenna. Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to Lacey. Shout out to Surya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Rashawn. Shout out to Timothy. Shout out to Leilani. Shout out to TJ Boss. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Dante Marca. Dante Marco. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to thank you, Jenna, for being in almost all the lives. Shout out to Zoe. Bye. Have a great day or a great night. Shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Mohit. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Roxy. Shout out to Alila. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Shout out to Timothy James. Shout out to Zara. Shout out to Vamshi. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Lily Lolesio. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Lily Lolesio. Shout out to Kennedy. Shout out to Elsie. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Damien. Shout out to Mukesh. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to America. Shout out to Valerie. Shout out to Shelly. Shout out to Valerie. Oh, I already did Valerie. Shout out to Rosie or Rosie. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Natalia. Shout out to Darling. Shout out to Olivia. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Cosmo. Shout out to Devaney. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Mihai. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Zoe or Zoe. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Lula. Shout out to Brady. Thank you for subscribing. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Geraldine. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Novi. Shout out to Abira. Shout out to Alexander. Shout out to Minji. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Amalia. Shout out to Niken. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Excuse me. Shout out to Anna Bazonov. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Dante. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Irfa. Shout out to Andrea. Shout out to Serenity. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Reed. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Ruben. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Berta. Shout out to Alexander. Shout out to Pamela's. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Nishida. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Mariah. Whoops, Mariah. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Arjun. Shout out to Danish. Shout out to Juan. Shout out to Valen. Shout out to Brent. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Jerion. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Naveen. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Nishida. Shout out to Cheska. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Cami. Shout out to London. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Kamoya. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Aurelie. Shout out to Auntie. Shout out to Camia. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Zed. Shout out to Sripana. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Kylie. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Nectari. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Angeline. Shout out to Abigail. Like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. Shout out to Lauren. Shout out to Levi. Shout out to Abigail. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Ronaldo. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Gil. Shout out to Valentina. Shout out to Mika or Micah. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Valerie. Shout out to Dora. Shout out to Amalia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Angel. Shout out to Umay or Umay. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Mason. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Amaya. Shout out to Benzi or Benz. Shout out to these people. Like and subscribe if you enjoy my shout outs. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out and support. Thank you so much for being here. On to the next page. Excuse me. Shout out to Kylie. Shout out to Lexi. Shout out to Kate. Shout out to Dante. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Esther. Shout out to Patty. Shout out to Serenity. Shout out to Beatrice. Shout out to Jamie. Shout out to Rose. Shout out to Athena. Shout out to Ella. Shout out to Athena. Oh, I got you. Athena. Shout out to Stray Kids. Shout out to Araceli. Shout out to Sammy. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Han. Whoops, Han. Shout out to, wait, that, I wrote it wrong. Let me write it again. Shout out to Han. There we go. Shout out to Riza. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Lindsay. Shout out to Minho. Shout out to Andy. Shout out to Avni. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Magnus. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Jandal. Shout out to George Rivera. George. Shout out to Jimena. Shout out to John. Thank you for subscribing. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. We're almost at 50 likes, only 3 away. Shout out to Kennedy. Shout out to Lauren. Shout out to Kanoa. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Kanoa. Shout out to Violet. Shout out to Rama. Shout out to Josie. Shout out to Yarianis. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Thank you for 50 likes. Shout out to Joy. Shout out to Christina. Shout out to Kaylee. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Jenny. Shout out to Nicholas. Shout out to Nicholas. Shout out to Supercat 2. Shout out to Nishida. Shout out to Lule. Shout out to Cole. Shout out to Kylie. Shout out to Samantha. Shout out to Uma. Shout out to Addison. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Harper. Shout out to Gabby. Shout out to Esther. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Itzayana. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Itzayana. Shout out to Reese. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Kiana. Shout out to David. Shout out to Sterling. Shout out to Rashida. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Sanaya. Shout out to Sitlali. Shout out to Shannon. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Marcelo. Shout out to Ebony. Shout out to Elmer. Shout out to Timmy. Shout out to Putri. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Nikai. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Something. Shout out to Anady. Shout out to Ben. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying my content. Shout out to Laura. Excuse me. Shout out to Aylin. Shout out to Bray. Shout out to Nor. Shout out to Teddy. Shout out to Jasmine. Shout out to Kimber. Shout out to Tim. Shout out to, excuse me, shout out to Tom. Shout out to Jeanette. Subscribe if you're enjoying my content. I also post other content on my channel. I hope you can check it out. Shout out to Zia. Or Zaya. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Skylar. Shout out to Jada. Shout out to Azri. Shout out to Aliza. Shout out to Camila. Shout out to Alex. Leave a like. We're almost at 70 likes. Only 5 more. Shout out to Sinov. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Damien. Shout out to Ariella. Shout out to Lydia. Shout out to Alan. Shout out to Corpse. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying my content. If you're enjoying my shout outs. Shout out to Eamon. Shout out to Ellery. Shout out to Lindsay. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Alba. Shout out to Ariana. Thank you for 70 likes. Shout out to Shinobu. Oh no, I don't know if I spelled it correctly. Let me know if I did or didn't. Shout out to Celogia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Kyler. Shout out to Romeo. Shout out to Chili. Shout out to Eliana. Shout out to Bob. Shout out to these people. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying my content and my shout outs. Leave a like. I would truly appreciate it. On to the next page. Write your name if you want a shout out. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Brandy. Shout out to Alan. Shout out to Dana. Shout out to Jacqueline. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Xing Un. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Zia or Zaya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Charlotte. Shout out to Quinn. Shout out to Ivana. Shout out to Syra or Sira. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Audrey. Shout out to Leticia. Shout out to Bernard. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. We're almost at 80 likes. Shout out to Emery. Shout out to Mila. Shout out to River. Shout out to Evangeline. Shout out to Rylan. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Taylor. Shout out to Caroline. Thank you for 80 likes. Shout out to Dolly. Shout out to Lauren. Shout out to Angel. Shout out to Aaliyah. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Taylor Rose. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Sky. Shout out to Sammy. Shout out to Kareem. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Rosalia. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Addie. Shout out to Eliana. Shout out to Hope. Shout out to Stella. Shout out to... Did I get Dash? No, not yet. Shout out to Dash. Shout out to Rashida. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Yessie. Shout out to Aliza. Shout out to Osira. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Copper. Leave a like. We're almost at 90 likes. Just 2 more likes. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Jade. Shout out to Addison. Shout out to Bonnie. Shout out to Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I won't write it down because I'm gonna mess up. Shout out to Milan. Thank you for 90 likes. Shout out to Casey. Shout out to Dylan. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Matthew. Shout out to Lee. Shout out to Boggs. Shout out to Mila. Shout out to Casey. Yeah, I can do Super Cali. Yeah, because their name's really long. I'm going to mess up. Shout out to Ahmad. Shout out to Rafaela. Leave a like. We're almost at 100 likes. Only 5 more. Shout out to Valeria. Shout out to Raylin. Or Rylan. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Isa. I got you, Rylan. Shout out to... You're welcome. Shout out to Tanya. Shout out to Ashley. Thank you for subscribing. Only 5 more likes. Shout out to Sadie. Shout out to Milan. Shout out to Carpio. Thank you for subscribing, Carpio family. Shout out to Taylor. Oh, what was it? Shout out to Taylor. Shout out to Allison. Shout out to West. Only 5 more likes till we reach 100. Shout out to Julieta. Shout out to Chase. Shout out to Martin. Subscribe if you like my shout outs. I also post other content that I hope you can check out. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Camila. Shout out to Lori. Shout out to Bruno. Shout out to Sophie. Shout out to Singapore. Shout out to Uzbekistan. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Uzbekistan. Shout out to Armani. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Zuya. Shout out to Anashi Grande. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Jod. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Casey. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. 2 likes away from 100 likes. I hope you can give it a like. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Irish. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Demetra. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Kaylee. Oh no, did I spell that correctly? No, I didn't. Shout out to Kaylee. Okay, there we go. Kaylee. Thank you for 100 likes. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Julie. Shout out to Jaden. Whoops. Oh my goodness. I don't know why I keep messing up. Shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Pabalo. Sorry if I mess up your name. Shout out to Sunday. Shout out to Joel. Shout out to Camila. Shout out to Nads. Shout out to Lego. Shout out to Declan. Shout out to Autumn. Shout out to Percy. Shout out to Nia Johan. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Gordon. Shout out to Brooke. Shout out to Millie. Shout out to Sophie. Was it Sophie? Yes, Sophie. Shout out to Pramika. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to Jamie. Shout out to Florence. I'll put Florence over here. Shout out to Florence. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Addie. And shout out to Ella. Shout out to these people. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time to write your name. Please subscribe so you know when I do my next live stream. Please subscribe to support me, support my channel. And thank you for being here. I truly appreciate it. Have a great day or a great night. Bye. Take care. See you next time.